So we just watched the brand new movie The Kitchen on Netflix, and we got our full thoughts coming up in just a second.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
I'm a boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another iPopcorn for that review. I'm Chris.
I'm Nick.
And like I said, today we're reviewing The Kitchen. So this just dropped on Netflix a couple days ago, and it is the directorial debut of Daniel Kaluuya. It was also co-directed by Kibwe Tavares. I don't know. Daniel Kaluuya, if you don't know already, is the star of things like Nope and Get Out. He was on like a big prominent episode of Black Mirror, Judas and the Black Messiah. He's got a handful. He was on Black Panther, so he's got a handful of movies under his belt. But this is his first movie as a director. And how would you sum up the plot? I was trying. It's not that complex of a plot, really. But how would you sum it up?
Yeah, it's basically like a big group of people living in this complex, or like an old apartment complex, and the government's trying to kick them out. Meanwhile, you're focused on one character and a young character kind of coming together.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I don't know if it said it anywhere on the movie, but like looking up things afterwards, I saw this, but it's 2044, so this is only 20 years from now. And I guess like at least the UK government has gotten rid of all like public housing or government housing, and these people that are in this place that they call the kitchen are just like refusing to leave. And so, and I was a little, I hate to start off right off the bat with like things I'm confused about, but I'm a little confused about why does it take so long? Like if you really were determined as this big government entity to get these people out, how many raids do you have to do? Eventually there's nobody left, right? I'm confused. Like,
yeah,
is it just,
that was that got me too, because I was thinking the same thing. If they really wanted them out of there, they would have got them out way before this. Because it seems like they've been there for quite some time. There's all these businesses set up and everything, and it kind of starts off, and there's like this DJ that kind of talks throughout the movie, and I guess it just it goes out to broadcast to everybody through some stereo system that's living in the kitchen.
Good morning. This is the Little Kitchen, live and direct.
Which kind of reminded me of Do the Right Thing, because there's a DJ in that movie. But anyways, if they really wanted him out of there, it starts off and says that they finally cut off the water. Well, okay, yeah. And then so why didn't they cut off electricity too? Why, like if they wanted him out of there, they would have got him out of there.
You would get him out.
That's a big plot hole for me.
Every raid, I know, like, okay, they have the pots and pans, they bang out the windows to, like, warn each other that the police are coming and everything, but they also have, like, a constant drone camera presence, so the cops always know what's going on, but they warn you when the cops are coming for these raids with the pots and pans banging together, and so everybody goes and runs and hides or whatever, and as long as you get in a door, as long as you close a door behind you, it's like, you're perfectly fine. They're allergic to locked doors. They can't get through locked doors. They won't even try. And
there's even a scene where like one of the cops has a handheld little battering ram. It's like they would have been knocking these doors in. And why aren't they raiding this place every single day if they want to get these people out so badly?
And it seems like we catch the kitchen at a pinnacle moment in its life, which is like things are really falling apart. And maybe it is like they've just ramped up things here recently, but it just feels like, man, I don't know. This seems like quick work. A giant government entity that doesn't care about human life at all. Just get rid of them. It should be piece of cake. But the story centers around this guy Izzy, and the kid is Benji, and we meet Benji by way of his mother has just died, and they're using this program called, I can't remember the name of the company, but they're using this program where
Life.
What is it?
Life After Life.
Okay, not a great name, but it's like you're planted into a tree. When you meet this kid, you're meeting his mother having deceased, and you can see that something's going on between our main character who works at this place, Life After Life, and the kid's mother. And then, pretty soon the kid's like, I guess, like running away from home or something, and he runs into Izzy, and so from then on, we're mostly following. They kind of get disconnected a couple times. For the most part, the story centers around these two, Benji and Izzy's relationship, and what's the deal with the mom and everything. And I don't want to spoil anything right off the bat, but I'm just saying, like, what do you think? What do you think's going on?
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like the most telegraphed thing ever. I don't know if it was supposed to be a surprise or if it's just like we're watching the characters figure out what's happening, but I'm not usually one to predict things early, and boy, did I get it. 1.5 minutes into this movie, I got the hook of the whole movie. Got it.
Well, I mean, it kind of confronts him with it, and they try to be like, is he or isn't he? And the kid even doesn't seem to know, but, I mean, who else would it be? Nobody else seemingly knew this woman, so...
And there's a little bit of maybe they were trying to go like a little bit of a coming of age angle, because this kid, it's this young kid, and he's like forced to grow up really fast. He has no parents anymore, I guess. Or, his mom's gone. He's kind of out on his own. He goes to the kitchen, even though everybody says that's a dangerous place to be, and yada yada. And pretty quickly after he parts ways with Izzy, he meets this other crew of kind of like a criminal kind of enterprise. I mean, they seem like they're up to no good, and they're very
they're like
about it.
Kind of helping the kitchen survive. It seems like they're doing raids on trucks, because they've also cut off like any kind of food support for the kitchen, so they're stealing trucks full of supplies and stuff.
So, I mean, in a way, like, they're the dirty side of the coin. Like, I don't think the kitchen could work without that side of it. But our main guy seems like he doesn't want this kid Benji to be associating with these guys. These guys are up to no good, whatever. But they don't really do a whole lot with that until, like, kind of pretty close to the end. Like, it's just, we kind of just dance back and forth between, he spends a little time with Izzy, he spends a little time with these other guys. Sometimes they're doing some stuff that's a little rowdy. Sometimes they're doing stuff that's just neutral. I don't know, they're riding wheelies on bikes. There was a lot of stuff that's just, I don't want to say like filler. This is a cool looking movie, but there's so much time spent on stuff that's like not moving the story along. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I don't know. It just felt like, golly.
Well, so here's the thing. It took...
Get to it.
Yeah, it took for the raid to get the DJ, and like I guess he dies in the raid or whatever, and it took that for the like civil unrest to hit its peak. And not any of the other times where all these other people are getting taken. Just this
they just
one
love
guy,
that DJ.
just because he's the guy telling them what's going on for the day. Like,
and I will say, I can kind of get that. I don't want to beat him up too bad for that specific part, because if you have this enigmatic figure in the DJ, and I liked the character more than I did most characters in this. So, like, if I was more latched on to the DJ character than, like, almost anybody else in here, honestly. So, he's kind of the voice of the kitchen, and everybody's hearing him. Every day you wake up. I mean, they make a point to every day, and the movie starts with the same little spiel from him. Every morning we wake up with the Lord Kitchen. What's his name? What's his name?
Lord Kitchener. And I gotta tell you, he starts at 7 a.m. and like this broadcast to everybody. I'd be a little upset every morning. I got woken up at 7 a.m. by some guy on the radio.
But I can see that being, that makes sense as the catalyst in a sense, because everybody hears this guy. He's like the voice of the kitchen, and when you kill the voice of the kitchen, then everybody rises up. It works enough, and it's just, my problem is, I think the writing was a little thin, but also like our main character and our main adult character and the main kid, Benji and Izzy. I don't know. They're just not like emoting.
Dude, that's exactly how I felt. Like for a movie,
they're like stone faced.
Yeah, like for a movie that you're supposed to like, I think you're supposed to have an emotional reaction to. There was no emotion from the characters.
Every time you see the kid, he's stone-faced. Every time you see the main guy, stone-faced.
Well,
there's like a couple moments of laughter, but it doesn't. It's like a little too late, and it doesn't carry the weight that you want it to. And I just didn't. I didn't feel things like I wanted to. It felt like it was trying to make up for lost time at the end and like make you care a little bit at the end. But I'm not saying I checked out, but I was kind of like, I just don't like this movie. So I mean, if we're too late to turn it around for me to where I'm going to say like, and I recommend it. It's not like aggressively bad. It's just frustratingly kind of frustratingly squanders the potential it had, because there is like a kind of cool like socio-political, income inequality. There's a story here with all that, but I think there's just been a ton of movies that have done that kind of message and done it. I think handled it better.
Right.
I mean, visually, I'm surprised how good it looks, because, like, this is a first-time director, and everything about it looks good. So, like, visually, I think I'm excited to see what they got coming next. But something went wrong in the writing or the picking of the cast. Like the main guy is an extremely well respected like grime UK musician, up there with like Dizzy Rascal, but he hasn't really done a whole lot of acting, and I don't know. I think you really needed like a really charismatic lead in this to really make it work, or at least the kid, or I don't know, something. It just ended up, and then at the end, we'll have to get into spoilers for that, but
might as well. I mean,
yeah, let's get into the spoilers because at the very end, like I said, the police and everything are allergic to locked doors. You can't cross the locked door. So once they get another raid happens, they've only come back to like plant his mom's tree somewhere. A lot of things happened in between here, but I mean they're planting his mom's tree, so they've come back to the kitchen, and they happen to come back in the middle of another raid, and this seems like a particularly violent, aggressive one. They almost get caught a couple times. They close the door, and now they're safe. It seems like everything's calmed down, and you hear a knocking at the door, and he's like, the kid like kind of looks like maybe I should go get the door, and he's like, no, wait. And then there's more knocking, and then he's like, no, just, it's fine. And then you hear the sound of what sounds like somebody coming in, and then that's the end of the movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
What does that mean?
They busted the door open. They got them.
So they're like dead?
I don't know if they're dead, but they got removed from the
got.
kitchen and something. Like maybe they're going to jail, or now they're just homeless.
This is a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
Man, I don't know. I know we like some like hopeless movies sometimes, but I think you got to do it a different way than this. Like that's pretty. Yeah. You kind of made a movie where I'm supposed to be rooting for these main people, and then I guess they're done. Yeah,
but I kind of got that feeling from the beginning. It's like nobody's gonna make it out of this in a happy way. Like the government's gonna get these people out of there, so that eventually they're gonna get.
I guess I had a little hope for a minute, and I don't know how you could have wrapped it up where it's not like too goofy, but I had a little hope for a minute where like the people of the kitchen are kind of revolting and like throwing food and stuff at the cops, and it seems like they're a little overwhelmed for a minute, like they're using their shields and they're like, it's getting through, like there's stuff getting through, man.
Right.
And I was like, maybe this is like the thing where the tables are turned and the kitchen uprises and overwhelms the police, but that didn't seem realistic. So yeah, I just I didn't like it.
Yeah, wasn't a big fan.
It's okay. It's.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
but I also
okay-ish.
I only watched the trailer for it once when it came out, and I was thinking it was going to be a very different movie than it was. Like, I thought it was going to be more focused on that group of people like stealing supplies and stuff like that, and actually fighting back, not just kind of this slog of an emotionless relationship between a father and son that don't know each other.
Yeah. I will throw, it's not enough to save it, but I will throw out a couple other things that are worth maybe mentioning as like positives. I do think the music works well in a lot of this. It's a little bit like too many songs maybe crammed in, but the score and the soundtrack and everything I thought worked. Some of these songs are like great, and they work for the vibe of the movie and everything. And I don't know about all the costume design and stuff, but this world does feel like very lived in. And I thought some of the costume designing was kind of creative because you can tell like. The idea is these people have, especially like the bad guys, I guess, have like turned, Nike shoes and baseball mitts and whatever else they can find and like altered them to be kind of creative face masks. And I thought some of that was cool and like added some, I don't know, some realism to it. But again, it was just kind of a chore to get through this for some reason to me. It's not really that long. It just wasn't. There's a lot of like pregnant pauses. Like people would, it'll be like Izzy, and I'm like, and then finally he'll respond, and you're like, how long do you need there for that? I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't.
They had to add time to get it to an hour 45.
Something. I don't know. All that said, I will watch the next thing Daniel Kaluuya makes, and plenty of amazing directors have started with stuff a lot worse than this. So we'll see where it goes from here. I think it shows some promise. It just did not land it at all for me. So
yeah.
What does that translate to for a score for you? What do you give this?
I'm gonna give it like a 3.5. I guess like there were certain things I liked about it, but it was pretty slow, boring, and like I said, it was like an emotionless movie that was supposed to make you feel something.
Yeah, I didn't feel a thing, man. And they don't. The dead mom that we talk about so much in the movie, they don't. I never met her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, all that to say, yeah, I wish I could go higher, but I think I'll give it. I'm going to be a little more generous and give it a 4, but it ain't quite it, so unfortunately. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video more than we enjoyed watching the movie. And click like below if you like this kind of thing. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers
Almost
before the
halfway
end
there.
of this year. Almost halfway there. Yeah, we can do that before the end of this year.
Yeah.
Comment below if you've seen this movie or shout out suggestions for things that we should watch. And yeah, we appreciate you guys watching as always, and we'll see you in the next one, guys.
I'll see you.
Thank you.